We have Fazil, Search, and Shriram. Cool. So guys, welcome back to the session. I hope every one of you has gone through the course content and the copy must have been already been shared by SVR. Okay. And as we discussed during our demo, okay, whenever we try to start our session, we try to start from the basics. Basics, I mean, basics of WebSphere application server. Sorry, basics of JBoss application server. So, yeah, so someone had a question. Sorry, I couldn't hear it properly.
No, Shiva, no.
Yeah. So to talk about, okay, how many of you know about the application server? How many of you heard about the term application server? Yes, no, SS, no, no.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, am I audible and clear or something wrong with my voice? You are not able to hear me? Let me know. Sriram,
Okay, one
search.
moment.
I don't know, but I hear a little bit of background disturbance. Okay, I'm unsure from where it is coming, but I hear now it's okay. Now it's perfect. Okay, we have a response from Search and Sriram application server, which is used to take care of business logic. Excellent. How about others? Fazil and Search. Do you know about what is an application server? What is the significance of an application server? Okay, Fazil has an update. He says it's a server to execute the dynamic content. Cool. How about Search? You have any idea about the term application server? Good. The basic reason for me to ask this particular question is to understand if you guys all know about what is that exactly meant by the term application server. And if this, I just want to quickly run through it and start the exact topic relevant to our discussion called as JBoss Application Server. But as I understand, since most of you are from the application server background, I'll not do a deep dive on what is the application server, what's the background of the application server, how does the web server, how does the application server came from the web server, what is the Tomcat web server, how did the web server came to the market. These are all the things, okay? I'll leave it as an optional to you, but if you just want, I can do a detailed discussion on that, or if you want, I can go through the definition of what exactly is meant by the term application. Okay, Shriram request to have it. Great. No problem, Shriram. Okay. We are all here to learn. We are all here are freshers. Great. So let me do one thing. Let me do a deep dive on the what exactly is meant by the term application server and a little bit of more discussions on that. But before I do, I see a mixture of people coming from the different time zones. I think Fazal is from US, from India. Search, I'm not sure from which time zone you are from. But Shriram, as I understand, he's from US. So what I generally try to do is that since I'm not that uh, perfect in doing a time conversion, so I always try to refer the time in the Indian Standard Time. Something is not clear, something is not current. Please do a check with Vasu. Okay, but generally by default you can say that the time zone I refer is an Indian Standard Time zone. Saj, you are okay?
Yes, I'm okay.
Okay. And one more thing, okay, Shriram and Fazil, I'm not sure if you have any problem with my rate of speech or the speed I talk. Search if you have any problem understanding my voice, or if you think that my rate of speech is a little faster, do let me know. I'll try to slow down myself. Good. Okay. Serge, you're also okay? You're okay with my rate of speech? Perfect. So these are some basic things which I want to uh, talk before we actually get into the discussion. Another important thing is that there has been some confusion from my side, and I thought the training is starting from today. and I had forgotten about the schedule and I wasn't available totally with me. I'm really sorry for that. I'll try to ensure that this doesn't happen always, but initially give me an excuse, just excuse me for the initial one. And second thing is that I have some problem with my phone, so currently I'm not available on my WhatsApp, but soon, by the time we are done with next week of the session, I'll have my WhatsApp number again back, okay, my phone again back. So anything and everything, okay, for example, I'm not available, you're not available, or the complete list of students are not available, two things we can do. Since Vasu is the point of contact for all of us, we can inform Vasu or anyone from SVR, or we can put a message in the WhatsApp number. Okay, if I'm not available, I'll either inform Vasu or put a message in the WhatsApp saying that, hey, I have so and so problem and I'm not available. Okay, because we're all working, we'll have some other schedule. Okay, so it's not guaranteed that 24/7 we all will be available. So just try to do that so that, okay, the others are not affected, and I'll also try to ensure that nothing gets deviated from my side. And another important thing is that about the things that have been asked during our demo is a material. So don't worry about the material, okay, that will be taken care. And second thing is that I had a request from most of them asking to do all the labs on the Red Hat Linux operating system. I'm perfectly okay with that, okay. I can comfortably show you all the labs on the Red Hat Linux operating system. I'm perfectly fine with that, okay. But if you guys want any specific thing that you think should only be shown in the Windows, guys do let me know, okay. But frankly speaking, except the installation and few of the configuration related slides, either it's a Windows or the Unix, the steps remain the same. Okay, anyone, any questions? Fazal, Search, Sriram. Good. No questions from Sriram. How about Fazal and Search? Cool. Search, you okay? Perfect. Perfect. Good. So that's it from my side related to the introduction of the sessions. Okay. Coming back to our actual topic, what is a JBoss application server? Okay. How do I understand the term JBoss application server? Before you try to think about what exactly is meant by the term JBoss application server, it's very important that you understand what exactly is meant by the term application server. If I know what is meant by the term application server, I can understand what is meant by the term JBoss application server. This point takes us to the history and origin of application server. The application server came into the market because of some drawbacks present in the previous server called as servlet container. There were some drawbacks, there was some problem with the servlet container present in the lower versions. We had the application server in the market. Then what is meant by the web server, Shiva? What's the history of web server? If you see the web server came into the market because of the programming language called as Java J2W. Before the Java J2W was there, the programming language that was very dominant was your scripting programming language. Okay, before the Java J2W was ruling the IT market, the programming market, most of the companies, most of the developers, most of the programmers used to develop their applications, used to develop their modules, used to develop their code using the programming language called as scripting programming language. Sure, what do you mean by scripting programming language? Scripting programming language is nothing but the language, any application, any code, anything that has been developed with the scripting programming language had a very unique feature, had a very unique advantage, had a very unique capability that it can deliver the static content. Shiva, one second. What do you mean by static content? How I can interpret the static content? Static is nothing but anything and everything that remains constant for a longer duration of the time or for an infinite amount of the time. The scripting programming languages had a unique capability that anything and everything that is being developed using the scripting programming languages has a unique capability that it can deliver the static content. Sure, what do you mean by static content exactly? As I said, static content is nothing but your content that remains constant for a longer time or an infinite amount of the time. Example, your text, your images, your CSS content. Okay, all this are nothing but the static content. If you go to any company's portal, the logo of the company, the IBM, for example, has a logo that is very unique. It doesn't change every day, every minute, every second, every month, every year, every week. It remains constant for a longer duration of the time. That is a static content. I open any portal and I could see a tab called as an About Us. This About Us is a tab where we try to write some text related to the company or related to the board of directors and the contact number. 99.99% of the time, this doesn't change every minute, every second, every hour, every day, every week, every month, every year. This is the one that is expected to be constant for a longer duration of the time. That is a static content. So any application, any module that is being developed using the scripting programming language had a unique capability that it can deliver the static content. The server that was used to process the code related to the scripting programming languages was called as an file system handler. Clear? The server that was used, the container that was used to process the code related to the scripting programming languages was called as a file system handler. So if you see my file system handler, this is my file system handler. Anything and everything related to the static content, okay, can be comfortably processed by my file system handler. So this is my file system handler, and the file system handler can process the code related to the scripting programming languages. But what do the scripting programming languages do? They deliver the static content. And hence I can say that my scripting programming languages, okay, which deliver the static content can comfortably processed by my file system handler. That is, my file system handler is a server that is responsible to process the code related to the scripting programming language and hence deliver the static content. Or in short and sweet, I can say that anything and everything that is related to the delivery of the static content can comfortably processed by my file system handler. Clear? Not clear? Anyone? Any questions still here? Puzzle search, Sriram. Perfect. How about others? Fazal and Sriram? Clear? Perfect. Yeah. So this was a trend, okay, before the Sun Microsystems came up with the Java J2W API. When Sun Microsystems came into the programming world, as far as the programming world, when they entered, they released many modules under the Java J2W or Java J2SE umbrella. Under that, one important technology relevant to our discussion is the servlets and JSP. What is a servlet? What is JSP? Okay, servlet is nothing but any application, any program which you are trying to develop using the servlet and JSP has a unique capability that it can not only deliver the static content, but it can also deliver the dynamic content. Shiva, one question here. Static content we know. What do you mean by dynamic content? I open my inbox, let's say my Gmail, my Yahoo, anything it might be. So when I open that particular my inbox, I see the 300 email in my account. I try to read one email. Automatically, the total number of 100 email count goes down from 3 to 2. I read another email. Automatically, the total number of 100 email count goes down from 2 to 1. I read another email. The total number of 100 emails now drops to 0. I didn't do any maintenance. I didn't do anything. Automatically, dynamically, the changes got reflected. Another example. I want to watch the match between India versus New Zealand. I open the ESPNcricinfo.com and click on live scorecard. I don't do anything. The dynamic content, the updated scorecard will be displayed to me. That is nothing but your dynamic content. So, if you see now, compared to the scripting programming languages, your servlets and JSP are much more advanced, has much more capabilities. So what happened? Every developer started moving away from scripting programming languages to servlets and JSP. But there is a problem. What is the problem? To process the code related to files scripting programming language, I have a server called as file system handler. But how about my servlets and JSP? Can I use the file system handler? Definitely not. Why? My file system handler can only deliver the static content. My servlets and JSP, they can not only deliver the static, they can deliver the dynamic content. So people were trying to do a lot of R&D, meeting up this particular requirement, coming up with a server that can process the code related to the servlets and JSP. As part of that continuous research, as part of that continuous R&D, they came up with a server, they came up with a container called as servlet container. Okay, servlet container. When you try to open this web server with the servlet container inside it, when you open this web server with a servlet container inside it, and if you try to see what exactly is there inside it, you'll be surprised to see that it has two layers inside it. The first one was called as file system handler, which was responsible to take care of anything and everything related to the static container. The second one was the servlet container to take care of anything and everything related to the dynamic code of your servlets and JSP. Clear? So it had two components inside it. The first one was called as file system handler, and the second one was called as a servlet container. Clear? Not clear.
So this means, Shiva, we're talking about the web server has two container.
The web server with the servlet container. Before I continue explaining that, there's one small history we need to understand. Okay, before the WebLogic or the WebSphere or the JBoss application servers, when they converted themselves, when they were in the process of getting matured as an application server, Tomcat was the one which was very popular. Tomcat had some limited features, and before it got converted into a full-fledged application server, people used to call the Tomcat as a web server with a servlet container inside. Couple of people still now prefer to call the Tomcat as a web server with a servlet container, but to call this one as a web server or an application server, it's all point of argument. But since we are not yet into